sports nerds, welcome to North Sports Dynasty. I am 1/5 of your host, Mr. Andrew Fulbert, aka the Canadian Big Board, and we are back here on a Friday night, joining the ranks of all the off-season shows, where there's fuck all to talk about, fuck all for guests. As you can see, nobody's here. Alex is busy, Chris is busy, Sid is busy, Kyle is excused and also busy. So it's me, your host of North Sports Dynasty. But before we go any further, obviously, we have to pay the bills here. You know that this show is sponsored by ZAGNIF Apparel. That's right, ZAGNIF Apparel, still the sponsor, showing up on Profile Pics. Mr. Anthony Handy, go check it out. And if you want to go check out the apparel that they got, the code word is OFFSEASON to save yourself 15% off or more on selected items. That's right, on selected items. They got shirts, shoes, service, all that kind of fun stuff there. Check them out. Code word FOOBS15 on selected items on the etsyshop.com/ZAGNIF apparel. Also, ladies and gentlemen, we got a hockey show. So if you like hockey, check it out. Squid Ribs Cards is part of NSD as well. Not like officially, but, you know, unofficially. And he's got, you know, cards if you want to check it out. And, of course, this show is always, indubitably and incredibly, and for always will be, from my fucking basement. So what do we got on the docket today? Well, it's the off season. So I have to go take a couple weeks off. And it was, oh my God, the weeks that I had off. It was incredible. I had camping for a day, and then crap happened. But you know what? We don't have to talk about that. Especially because I don't want to talk about it. But I do want to talk about what we got on the show today. We got the Colin Cowherd moment. Is Mike Vrabel a top 5 head coach in the NFL? A debate. We'll get into that right off the bat. In mid-out, it's a brand new segment that we have here on North Sports Dynasty. Also, we got Netflix quarterback. We watched the show. What do you think of it? And then Bullshit Corner, if I had any of the guests on, but obviously it will probably be done by then. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you like what you see, you like what you hear, what you see, what you hear, what you see, what you hear, what you read, all the other fun stuff that come with, you know, watching shows and stuff like that, drop a like, drop a share, drop a follow on North Sports Dynasty. Everybody's shows will be coming out here pretty damn soon, so make sure to go give them all a check out. In the meantime, let's get right down into it. So this Mike Vrabel talk all started in a discussion that happened in a group chat where people were talking and bringing up that Mike Vrabel, when I said is top 5 quarterback of all time, people said, Andrew, Mike Vrabel might not even be a top 15 quarterback of all time. And I started to actually question myself. Did I just really say something stupid? Because, like, I'm used to saying something stupid, you know, especially when, like, the freaking temperatures around here get really freaking hot. And I'm, like, you know, in the moment and stuff. And everybody's like, oh, why the hell did D-Hop go to the Titans? And I said Mike Vrabel is a top 5 head coach in the NFL. And I got heat. Not even a top 15. Debatable top 10 by a couple different people. One was supposed to be on the show, so I could easily lay up into this, but he said he'll watch it later, so he'll probably comment and all the way through, which is fine, Mr. Loosey Goosey. But also to the guy at, you know, Mr. Let's Talk Football, Mr. Sean Spencer. He said not even top 15 quarterback of all time. So it got me thinking, and it brought me back to my good old days where we got the big board. And I remember as Peter Blake used to call me, and still does call me, big board. I decided to add that little bit of Canadian twang, whatever it's called. And you and I decided together as a fan base and as a co-host that I was going to create this. And this is what we call the Colin Cowherd moment. Why is Mike Vrabel a top 5 head coach in the NFL? Let's see. Yeah, Scott first. Thank you for tuning in. Why is Mike Vrabel top 5 head coach in the NFL? Well, here's the thing. I brought the whiteboard out so we can talk about it. Mike Vrabel has been a head coach in the league for 5 years, going on his 6th. He sits with a 48-34 record, 58.5%. If you want to round it up, it's 59, but we don't do that in the NFL because we like to use the real statistics here. Mike Vrabel's years with the Titans as the head coach goes as this: 9-7, 9-7, 11-5, 12-5, and 7-10, respectively. He has gone to the playoffs. He has beaten Brady in the last year at New England. He has beat Lamar Jackson and John Harbaugh. He has lost the revenge game the year after that. And he has also lost to Joe Burrow. And he's also lost to Patrick Mahomes. Okay? Remember that for later. 22 start. Went 7-3. Lost 10 straight at the end of the year. The injuries were to 86 players total on a 91-player roster. Depleting the crap out of the defense. Third most games in the league lost to injuries. Fantasy footballer stat right there. That means that there's only 2 other teams in the league that lost games because of injuries. Now, the Tennessee Titans are a good team. And people forget that. So they like to throw in these stats. Oh, he hasn't done this and that and everything else. Well, here's some other stats let me throw in here. He's had one superstar in Derrick Henry. Arguably, people may not even say he's a superstar anymore. He used to be. So technically, we will throw him into that superstar category. And who else? Well, Jeffrey Simmons hasn't gotten there to 2019 and has just recently got himself the contract and recently put him into the tier of possible superstardom. And some wouldn't even classify him as a superstar because they don't even know him. Digress. He inherited a third-year Marcus Mariota as his top quarterback. And then to replace Mariota, what they went and did is got a wide receiver turned quarterback. Mind you, he did pretty damn good in Miami, going 8-8, 3 years in total, surpassing 4,000 passing yards just once. In the season he did, they went 6-10. So they inherit, whatever it was, this quarterback, Ryan Tannehill. And he's got to tell this guy to now be the franchise of the Tennessee Titans, a party town. Well, guess what? He actually goes and does a pretty damn good job, if you look at it statistically. A 9-7, 11-5, and a 12-5. Last year he was injured. So now what are we talking about here when we ask why am I bringing all this up? Because the debate starts with, why is he a top 5 quarterback in the league? Top 5 head coach in the league. And this is the reasons why I'm going to tell you. I got here the list of the people who don't count, including Gannon, Reich, Eberflus, Ryan, Steichen, McDaniel, Staley, the other McDaniels, O'Connell, Allen, Saleh, and Todd Bowles. They do not count as quarterback or as head coaches that are anywhere near Mike Vrabel. I think we all can safely agree with that. I don't want to hear debates on Todd Bowles. Is it? No, we're not doing that. I have the good category here. Sean McDermott, Zach Taylor, Kevin Stefanski, Dan Campbell, Matt LaFleur, Brian Daboll. And in this category, I have 3 question marks on the Zach Taylor, Kevin Stefanski, and Dan Campbell. The reasons why. Are they actually good head coaches? Or is it the systems, the scenarios that they've been put into? Dan Campbell, question mark. Let's see what happens after this year. I think he's actually a good head coach. Kevin Stefanski, he's doing better now that he has a coach and he's had a system, but it's been a slow progression. Zach Taylor as well. Zach Taylor just recently got his quarterback of the future at the number 5 overall pick, who went home. And now all of a sudden we have this. I see a hi, Fubu. I'm not sure who that is, but someone who says Fubu means they're from back home. Good to hear from you. In the best category, what I have here, you got your Harbs, you got your McCarthy, you got your Peyton, you got your Reed, your McVay, your Belichick, Tomlin, your Carroll, and your Rivera. Now, there's a subcategory that I put here with Doug Peterson and Nick Sirianni and Kyle Shanahan, and we're going to get to that in a bit. There's a reason. What you see here are the top 8, I believe, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, top 8, except Rivera, head coaches in the league. And that right there means that they have a few things. They have, I see, Jared, it's popped up. I see you, Jared. Good to see you. I don't know why it's not popping up. Weird. This is what happens. When you look at all of these coaches that I have named, all of these coaches, except for McVay, have 100 games played at least in the NFL. All of these head coaches that I've named, let me just go with this. All of these head coaches that I've named have a Super Bowl. 7 out of these 8 head coaches have Hall of Fame quarterbacks that have helped them win those Super Bowls. John Harbaugh is the only one. I'm not calling Flacco a Hall of Famer. He's a damn good quarterback. I loved watching Flacco. We all know the name Flacco, but he's not a Hall of Famer. So let's think about this for a second. Can we really start comparing a guy who has been in the league 5 years to gentlemen, as you see here, who have been in the league for multiple years? I would say no. You can't compare Mike Vrabel right now to the Harbaughs and the McCarthys and the Paytons and the Reeds and the McVays and the Belichicks and the Thomas and the Carrolls and the Riveras. You can't, because of longevity. They've been there for a while. They've seen things. They've accomplished things for certain franchises, whether they are with that franchise or not. AKA Ron Rivera, for example. What's up, Sean Spencer? Hey, it's good timing, Sean. This is for the whole Mike Vrabel, not a top 15 head coach, possibly. I got this. Hold on. The 8 that you see here all have Hall of Fame quarterbacks except for Harbs. Now, after this is the 100-game argument that I'm taking away. We can't start comparing them yet when you take everything else, because there's the comparison of 2 of these guys that we need to get to before we can start doing the major debate on what I'm about to bring. So take these 8 away. You now have, except for McVay, you can put him down here. We now have Vrabel going up against Rivera, Peterson, Sirianni, Kyle Shanahan, and Sean McVay. And there's a reason why I'm bringing up Sean McVay again. All the accolades that now those gentlemen have, those people can be like, aha! But see, Andrew, Doug Peterson has a Super Bowl. Sirianni just went to the Super Bowl, almost won it. Kyle Shanahan is a mastermind, Andrew. How could you say such dumb things about Kyle Shanahan? And Riverboat Ron has been a staple to the NFL for a long time. And all those points, I agree with. But again, Ron Rivera is over 100 games, so I have to take him out of the conversation. But even then, I have points. Doug Peterson under 100, but he's got the Super Bowl. Sirianni and Kyle Shanahan. Their win percentages, though. Would you like to know that? If we just go to Doug Peterson. Now, Doug Peterson is a little bit more of what we would call the outlier in this. Or sorry, no, he's not the one. That's the outlier. He has 53.1. Sirianni, on the other hand, I believe is the outlier. Let me get to this quick because I was rushing a little bit today. Yes, Sirianni only has a handful of seasons under his belt, aka 2, but he's got a good record. So therefore, that gives him a 67.6. Now, Kyle Shanahan, everybody's favorite. And by the way, he's just under that 100 quarterback or 100 games mark. So I got to include him because that's the one everyone wanted to throw in there. Andrew, Kyle Shanahan. Okay. Mr. 53.1. Mr. NFC Championship. 2 NFC West championships, 3 playoff berths. That's cute. I agree. Good offense. Great defense. But it also seems a lot of your coordinators have come out of there. Now, here's the argument that I really wanted to start bringing up here. This is where we start getting into the analytics and the statistics And the reason why they call me Big Boy. Sean McVay is the one that Mr. Loosey Goosey started to throw at me. And he even said, if I'm not mistaken in that quote, Mr. Andrew Faber, it's almost rude to say Sean McVay is not a top 5 quarterback. And I would probably agree. He's won a Super Bowl. He's been there twice. He's done a hell of a good job. Everybody's like, Sean McVay. This is where I start to question a couple things. What is a good head coach? A good head coach is someone who obviously creates things. They create other coordinators. They create other opportunities. Now, the thing is there's people who grasp onto the opportunity that somebody has created and tries to take it for their own. Look at the coordinators that have come away from Sean McVay. Look at the fighting that Kyle Shanahan and Sean McVay have had. There's a reason why Sean McVay wanted to retire. Because there's other people waiting in the wing to take his job. Now he's a young and he's a mastermind. Listen, I am not denying that at all. But I also cannot sit here and deny the numbers that actually exist in this equation. So Sean McVay gets brought up. Sean McVay, the guy who has a 61.3 or 63.1% win percentage. On this, though, it says 61.2. So I'm going to change that. Sean McVay has had 6 years, 2 Super Bowls appearances, 1 Super Bowl, 2 years removed from winning for the Los Angeles Rams in Los Angeles. Congratulations, by the way, again, to Sean McVay, being a great head coach. Now, in this, we have to talk about the head coaching award that keeps getting brought up. Is Andrew, Sean McVay won. That's right. Sean McVay did win the head coach award. And, you know, I went back and I looked at this and I thought, it's kind of funny how he hasn't won since, isn't it? I see you out there, Ben. That bad pick got his analytic skills from Andrew Faber. Thank you very much. This is going to be a starred comment for the night as of right now. Sean McVay won Coach of the Year. That's right, Coach of the Year. And he won that in 2017. He won that in the first year he played in the NFL as a head coach. And doesn't it seem weird that a lot of these head coaches that do this, that win head coach of the year, tend to do it in their first year? So I went back and I looked at the head coaches who won head coach of the year in their first year. Recent. Brian Daboll last year. It's pretty good. Do we know how good he is, though? Matt Nagy. Kevin Stefanski. And then Sean McVay in his first year. So I also went back and I looked at head coaches who have won the head coach of the year after being in the NFL for multiple years, basically solidifying themselves already as a very good head coach. Wouldn't you agree? Mike Vrabel, 2021, 4 years removed from his first head coaching year. John Harbaugh, Jason Garrett, he can get a little. Riverboat Ron, Bruce Arians. These are all recent head coaches who have won head coach of the year and have been in the league for multiple years before they won that head coach of the year. I'm not saying Sean McVay is a splash in the pan. I'm not necessarily saying Kevin Stefanski is a splash in the pan, but we haven't seen what he can fully do with a committed quarterback yet. Matt Nagy. I don't know about you guys, but I don't know exactly where he is. Oh, wait, that's right. He's on a Netflix documentary, which we'll get to in a bit. And Brian Daboll. Listen, he's Canadian. I love him to death. But now the other side of this is I brought up the fact that Vrabel has only had a wide receiver turn quarterback to be his quarterback. He's also had Marcus Mariota. And the organization has just recently gone into the second round and third round to get overhyped quarterbacks to put in the system. Sean McVay had 4 superstars. Still possibly does have 4 superstars, depending on how you look at it. 5, if you really want to include the stint that Von Miller had there. And has had a quarterback. Again, this goes into the argument of the quarterback. Sirianni, does he have his quarterback? This year's going to be the tell-all, to be honest with you. Kyle Shanahan has had plenty of quarterbacks. He's had success with a lot of different quarterbacks. But we can't throw him into this argument and say, he's had Brock Purdy, he's fine, that's a superstar quarterback. When people can counter-argument and be like, well, Ryan Tannehill. What about Marcus Mariota, second overall pick? So therefore, I say that Kyle Shanahan hasn't even had his quarterback yet, his superstar quarterback. So we're still waiting to see on that. And then on top of that, Doug Peterson had Big Dick Foles. Big Dick Foles. That was his quarterback. A man who took a trick play. And that'll be forever the thing that they remember in Philadelphia until they win another championship. So now we can go back to the argument and include all of these head coaches back into the argument. Who is the best coach in the league? Well, I would, right off the bat, I think everybody would say it's Andy Reid right now. Right? Right? Now, all of a sudden, if we go in there and we start looking down here, it's Bill Belichick. And he gets it because of seniority. We cannot take Bill Belichick out of the top 5 yet. This year, we might start seeing the cracks of what it's like to not have Tom Brady for that long. And that might be the reason why we could start saying that, is Bill Belichick actually the best head coach of all time? Or is he a stat getter? Kind of like LeBron James. Christopher Cole, I see you out there. Johnny Dean, thank you guys for tuning in. Whitworth, yeah. Christopher Cole says Andrew. Christopher Cole, I say Christopher Cole. So then going back to this, I also throw in Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin has done a lot with a little and has proven that he can win without anything. That's the reason why he should be here. I would put Belichick lower if I could. And this is where you can start getting picky and needy. I would put Sean Payton there at the 4 spot. People could argue the fact that he hasn't actually done anything for a couple of years. And he's also a stat getter. He had Drew Brees. He had his Hall of Fame quarterback. Okay, Andrew, I see where you're coming from. Oh, we still got the whole Sean McVay thing. Didn't I just talk about Sean McVay? He had Matt Stafford. Well, what about what before that? He had Goff. And if I'm not mistaken, Goff was in the top 5 last year for passing yards with the Detroit Lions and has put them back into relevancy. So how do you even take that out of consideration? McVay's had 2 franchise quarterbacks. Then all of a sudden, you got the Pete Carroll thing. I don't want to talk about the whole Pete Carroll. Because now all of a sudden, if you start comparing head to head, right now, who would you rather have? Pete Carroll or Mike Vrabel? Mike Vrabel. Younger. You only get Pete Carroll for like 2 years then. So you got to think logically. Riverboat Ron, now you're talking. Now you got me. Okay. I'm going Tomlin. Because Riverboat took Cam Newton to the Super Bowl. And to be honest with you, could have easily won it if Ron Rivera was the one playing quarterback that day, because he would have jumped on the football. So you basically have the John Harbaugh combo, where we can really have that convo when you start looking at it. John has won, and he's had an MVP quarterback. Yet the Tennessee Titans have actually done on par with the Baltimore Ravens in the last 5 years. And for some odd reason, we're now taking the Titans out of all classifications of being a good team. For what? Injuries. 10-game losing streak because of injuries. So now, in my opinion, you can put Sean McVay at the 4 spot. And this is where I ask you, is Vrabel not better or on par with Harbs? Is Vrabel not better than McCarthy? Is he not on par with production of what he's had with Sean Payton? Sean Payton's going into a situation where he's got more superstars there than what currently is on the Titans now. There's an argument to be made all the way down on the Pete Carroll and Ron Rivera thing. So you can put Harbs here. You can put Payton here. But I'm telling you right now, these are all interchangeable from here on. McVay's going to retire after this year if they do not make it to the playoffs. He is not going to be there for a rebuild. Kevin O'Connell really possibly screwed that up, having the chance to have Caleb Williams just come right across the street. Harbs is a damn good coach, and he's in a damn good division. And if Sid was here right now, I'd be like, fuck Harbs. He's a damn good coach, though. It's the same thing with Vrabel. Vrabel has now been given an opportunity with Dhop, an X factor, something that in a video game is something almost unbeatable, especially when they're a 99. Except Dhop is not a 99. He is a 90 to a 91. Dhop is still formidable in any offense thrown out there. Guess what? RPO, right now, in that system, is going to suck for any defense. It doesn't matter how good you are. You got a healthy Derrick Henry finally coming back. Got a healthy Dhop coming back. You got a healthy Ryan Tannehill, who is manageable and serviceable. So this debate about Mike Vrabel not being a top 15 head coach in the league, first of all, laughable. Sean. Now the debate here is a little bit more towards Loosemore with about the top 5. I see him. I see you. But is 4 through 8 not just a little bit intangible? I see that comment that just came in here, but you have Tannehill, bro. That is true. That is true. Yet he's had this success right here with Tannehill. That is over 500. Tannehill hasn't even thrown for over 4,000 yards in any of these seasons. And yet he went toe-to-toe with the Chiefs. He beat Lamar. He was damn close to beating Joe. He eliminated Tom Brady. All with Tannehill. Imagine if this guy got a franchise quarterback. Imagine if Will Levis actually becomes something. Here's another stat I wanted to bring up here. This is one that I totally forgot. If you took Sean McVay's first season away, because he's only played 1 season more than Mike Vrabel, he would be 49-33, 1 win better in the regular season than Mike Vrabel, and 2 wins better in the playoffs. Now, the 2 wins in the playoffs is obviously a better one, but that's why I throw this argument in here. We all talk about some of the best head coaches in the league and some of the best head coaches of all time. Mike Vrabel's name as a player is whispered through the halls of the New England Patriots and will be for a long time. And if Bill Belichick were to retire and Vrabel was available, you don't think that he would go back and the Patriots would then become something? Mike Vrabel, in my opinion, in this Colin Cowherd moment for the NSD show, episode 47, is my top 5 head coach in the NFL. What do you guys think? Tell me if I'm wrong. This is going to be something that we're going to do. We're going to put a poll up here after the show so everybody can go check it out and let me know. Mike Vrabel, top 5 head coach. Look at all this. This is what we call big board, ladies and gentlemen. We bring you the things you want to see. I got you the stats. And I'm not saying Sean McVay's a flash in the pan. I'm not saying I'm saying kind of some of these guys might be. And what happens with Brian Daboll? I mean, what is Stefanski really going to massage his way into this season? You know, Bruce Arians has been a damn good head coach. I mean, I don't know about you guys. I'm a Buccaneers fan. I loved him. Riverboat Ron's been good. And if we look at projections and we look at the way that Riverboat is played, Vrabel might be even Riverboat Ron. But you know what? You ask Sean Spencer what happened when Riverboat Ron came there. He's fucking happy. And every year that I've known Sean, would you want to fire Riverboat Ron? Fuck no. It always gets close, but then when you look what's out there, you're like, I'll keep my Riverboat. Thank you very much. I like Doug Peterson and I like Nick Sirianni, but give me Mike Vrabel. Like if I was starting a new team, which give me Madden to come out like any fucking day now, Mike Vrabel is going to be my head coach for my Toronto team or Vancouver, because apparently he can go to Vancouver. So tell me in the comment section, drop it down there with the Colin Cowherd moment hashtag. Let me know what you guys think. Let's get into the next one here. This is called In, Mid, Out. So ladies and gentlemen, this is a brand new segment that we have here on NSD, where we go over some of the news that's been going out there. And it's a way for us to be interactive with the comment section, with the fans that we got out there, which, by the way, thank you all for tuning in tonight. Drop a like, drop a share, drop a follow on the show. Let everybody know that NSD is alive. Let everybody know that NSD is a good sports platform if you like what you see and you like what you hear. So, top 5 recent or all time? Recent, not all time. Did we? Whoa, whoa. No. Now the funny thing is for this comment here, Jesse, which by the way, thank you for tuning in, is a lot of people would have laughed if this conversation was about Andy Reid, say 9 years ago-ish, maybe 10 years ago, or you'd be like, he's not going to be considered a top head coach of all time. Like, what happens if Vrabel gets, what happens? Listen, everything goes to shit for the Titans. And they 8-1 or whatever, and they just say, you know what, Vrabel, it's been a good time, but we're just gonna let you go, right? And he goes to the Raiders with Caleb Williams. He goes to the Bucks with Caleb Williams. Drake May personally. He goes to the Commanders, for example. I mean, again, it's kind of like the same thing, but like if Riverboat Ron's got health issues and stuff like that, if you're just literally looking for that quick replacement, Vrabel. And now all 3 of those teams that I just said, go just think about Vrabel getting Caleb Williams and those teams as they are. Maybe lose a couple of contracts at the end there, but think about that for a second and tell me if you don't think in 7 to 8 years that Mike Vrabel would have 1 to possibly 2 Super Bowls almost committed to, and we have the debate if he's a top 10 head coach of all time. I like Vrabel a lot. I really do. And I'm kind of like, it's hard to NXT stand by it, which we'll get into later, about this, because I don't know exactly where to stand, because I don't know where the Titans are this season. But if everybody's healthy, that could be an 8-9 team, 9-8 team. And if the Jags get some key injuries, like if Trevor goes down, the fucking Canadian CFL player from BC is definitely not going to lead the Jags to the playoffs. So it is what it is. In, mid, out, ladies and gentlemen. Let's start it off with Dhop to the Titans. So this is where you guys in the comment section just drop in. Like, are you in for this happening? You think it's going to be a good thing for the franchise or whatever? Mid is you're kind of in the middle. You're not too sure if you want to lean too much to the left, too much to the right. You need more time to debate it, or you're just not too sure. And out, you're like, nope, this is going to be a horrible idea. Worst thing I've ever seen. Worst signing, worst trade, worst whatever. So the Dhop to the Titans. Since we're on the Titans train, it was a good transition. Dhop got signed. It's on a 2-year deal. On that 2-year deal, he's got a lot of incentives. It's kind of close to the OBJ contract. So the question basically out there is in on D-Hop going to the Titans. Are you mid, as all the cool kids are saying nowadays, on him going to the Titans? Or are you out? Are you just out on the Titans all in general? Do you not think that he's going to do anything? Do you think he's just not going to help him at all? And personally, on my opinion, I mean, I'm in. Like, I don't necessarily know where I'm going to put the Titans yet. I've been working on my schedule breakdown and where I think every team's going to finish and how everything's going to go for this upcoming season, because it's what me and Alex have done for almost 5 years now. So I do think it's going to be good. I think that the signing is good. I really do. And I'm going to go with in. I am in on the D-Hop going to the Titans. So the Dalvin Cook still in free agency, though. Obviously, he hasn't signed anywhere. He is leaning, apparently, going to Miami. There's obviously just some money structure that needs to be done because he obviously wants to go to a team. He wants term. He kind of wants to be part of one of these running backs that proves to everybody that there's a reason why they should still get paid. I'm kind of on the opposite of that, but I digress on it. Are you in on Dalvin Cook with the Dolphins? Are you in on Dalvin Cook just in general this upcoming season? And this is where I go mid. You just saw something pop up on Twitter about him trying to pay off his ex-girlfriend. Dolph Clement reporting offered ex-girlfriend $1 million to absolve him of wrongdoing after alleged physical assault. The ex-girlfriend claimed that Cook physically assaulted her by throwing her over a couch and into a coffee table, resulting in severe injuries to her forehead and nose, which caused bleeding. So this could be one of the reasons, obviously, that we haven't seen a signing. Good teams probably don't want to take a run on him. But if he's healthy, like he's 100% healthy, that's why I go mid. I mean, hell, the Bucks could pick him up, and I'd be like, fuck yeah, okay, we just won possibly 2 more extra games if he doesn't get suspended or if he's actually that healthy. So we'd go from 4 to 6, right? That'd be awesome. So yeah, I'm mid. I'm currently mid on the Dalvin Cook still being a free agent. Now, just in general, I got some teams like this upcoming season, like the Jets. I'm also mid on the Jets. Listen, the Jets have a banged up offensive line. The Jets have nobody to protect Aaron Rodgers. That's just the way it is. And it sucks because he's got a lot of opportunities with just that offense in general, and they have pieces in the offensive line, but it is Swiss cheese as all hell. And the man could die at the age of 39. And then all of a sudden, the backers get 2 first-round picks because it's like that's the way it is. So, also, Robert Saleh hasn't technically proven anything yet, in my opinion, though he is a damn good coach. He is a damn good defensive coordinator. I think I am going to stay mid on the Jets just for now because I am actually in more so in their conference on the Dolphins. So the Dolphins, if you guys look back last year, they were one of those other teams that got banged up. If I'm not mistaken, they were the second most games in the league lost to injuries. The Dolphins are really, really good. They have also traded for Jalen Ramsey. They have done everything possible for Tua. They are literally making sure that their offense and their team as a whole this upcoming season is for Tua to succeed. And if you look at the speed, they're trying something different. They're basically trying to do what the LA Rams did a bunch of years ago, but faster and on grass. And to be honest with you, it might work. They got a running back committee. They can use Myles Gaskins for crying out loud one of the weeks, and they would still get production there. So I'm in on the Dolphins as long as injury, kind of stops Tua from getting hurt or anything like that. I'm in. I'm really in on the Dolphins. So I guess that kind of, people are going to now be expecting me to have the Dolphins really, really high in my rankings, and I just don't know where I'm going to put them yet. But we'll see what happens when I'm done my schedule. The Saints, I'm mid. And it's not just because, fuck the Saints, first of all. It's because Derek Carr is coming into a situation where Dennis Allen was the head coach of the Raiders. So it's almost going to be like shell shock for him. I don't think that the Saints as a whole are going to be the best team. I do think that they're going to be a playoff team, but there's a lot of people who are saying that Derek Carr makes them like a Super Bowl contender. And I'm like, your head coach then, if he came back and Sean Payton would have made that team a fucking scary contender. And I would have just given you 2 games from the Buccaneers this year. But I'm mid. I want them to succeed, but I don't know where it's at right now. The Lions, though, I was mid until the show started, and then I really talked myself into being out. Alex, no, just kidding. I'm in on the Lions. This is the year. I think it's been basically etched in stone from the Pat McAfee show. If anybody watches that from Foxy, it's going to be 10-7 in a playoff berth, and it depends on where you think and where you think the Lions will be in their division and in the conference, and how well they play against their division. If they play well against their division and they get a high seed, that's when I think you need to start worrying about the Lions in a good way if you're just anybody else in the league. If the Lions just skim their way into the playoffs based off of a bad division and, a semi-good play and high-scoring games on both ends of the teams every game per week, I think you'll have the same thing like last year where, it'd be kind of cool to see them in the playoffs. But if you get them up against a good and proven team, say like the Chiefs or anybody really in that side, I don't think that they would possibly get past them. That's just personally me. I'm hoping, though. Love the Lions for Alex's sake. And the Jags, listen, I'm mid. I have been hurt by the Jags before. I don't want to take a chance on the Jags just yet. They were really cool last year with Doug Peterson. But again, this goes into my conversation about these head coaches here. Some of these head coaches come into the league for a year and they win head coach of the year, and it's because nobody has seen their system. Nobody has practiced against it. Nobody has done anything against their system. It just becomes a issue, I guess you would say, because you got to take a few games, which usually takes about half of a season. And if you're a good head coach, it takes a full season for people to come back and have a game plan against you. So Doug Peterson and then Trevor Lawrence, I think is going to be really, really good. I just don't think they'll have the best of success as they did last year, or what people are predicting, like 13-4 or 15-2, and this is the year of the Jags. I don't know. Let's just settle down a little bit on that. So I'm mid. I do think they make the playoffs. Do I think that they start dominating in the playoffs? No. I think that if they want a playoff win, you got to look for an opportunity like they had last year where they played the Chargers. And to be honest, I really don't think the Chargers are going to be that good of a team this year either. So, and then last in the mid, or out, we got the Commanders ownership. So 2 things on this that I want us to say. Are we in on this new ownership, ladies and gentlemen? Sean, if you're out there, let me know what you think. Mid or out? I will go with in, because from what I've heard, this guy is actually really, really good. He knows what he is doing, and I think that's kind of what is needed. Now, am I in, mid, or out on this whole possible name change? I'm in. Let's do it again, Sean. Let's do it again. Let's have a whole show about it, about the brand new change of the name. Let's advertise the fuck out of it. Let's just play around with it. Fuck it. Throw it all on the board. The Hogs, man. The Hogs. I'm saying it right now. Just do it. If your offensive line that won you Super Bowls back in the day had a nickname called the Hogs, and you are looking for something to represent that whole team just in general under new ownership, get in there with some maybe new color, or maybe just get in there with a brand new name. And I think the Hogs would be dope. So I'm in for the Commanders name change, and I'm also in for the Commanders ownership. Tell me what you think in the comment section on the in, mid, or out. Are you in on any of these guys? Are you out completely? I see Jesse said Lions will be tied for first with the Vikings in the NFC North. I'm going to star that because if Alex was here, he would hate to hear that right now because Alex is fully against the Minnesota Vikings this year. And I get it. I totally get it. So quick little commercial break, ladies and gentlemen, just so I can actually get some water in me. It is so freaking hot here. So quick little show of what we do here on Jeopardy. And quick word from our sponsor. We'll be right back. Pittsburgh Steelers, number 75.
Who is Mr. Mean Joe Green?
Try me again, motherfucker.
Kelly is correct.
Yeah, go. Who's Champ Bailey?
That's a double jeopardy right there, ladies and gentlemen. Double jeopardy.
What is a superflex?
Superflex is correct.
Yeah.
Out of kid, Kyle.
Oh.
I will take owners for 500, please.
Guys, I need to get out of here. Fuck.
Holy crap! I have the most passing yards in a Super Bowl. Connor McDavid, that is incorrect.
You son of a bitch.
Chris. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back.
No, you gotta be kidding. Hit so hard and it's Ed Reed, not Ray Lewis. Are we kidding me here?
Well, I'm fucked.
Well, I'm fucked.
That's
Break it down now. 201 points.
you son of a bitch.
All of it. All of it or no balls.
You son of a bitch. Need to wait till the question was done.
You know what?
The fuck is this?
I'm just glad I did the math right and I didn't lose by a point.
Incorrect.
Fuck.
So I'll put you down to. What? Welcome back to North Sports Dynasty. It gets me every single time. I am your host, Andrew Faubert, 150, your host, Andrew Faubert. Live always from my basement. This is obviously North Sports Dynasty. Give us a like, give us a share, give us a follow. Tell everybody what the hell is going on. Much love to everybody in the comment section. We got one more segment today, and that's basically talking about the new Netflix show that dropped. Good job, Peyton Manning. Called Quarterbacks. Featured Patrick Mahomes, Marcus Mariota, and Kirk Cousins. Couple of quick comments on that. I can't remember who said it in what damn chat, but they were right, where it was a good feature on Patrick Mahomes and Kirk Cousins and a little on Marcus Mariota. I start with the good. Patrick Mahomes, the fact that first season was able to get all of that from Patrick Mahomes, I don't think they'll ever get again. And they're probably so fucking happy that they got it. Like, to be honest with you. Like, let's get Patrick Mahomes once. Let's just get it out of the way. Let's just hope that we got it. And let's hope he's at least, we got a playoff guy, right? So I think that's kind of what they expected going in, is one playoff guy and two rebuilds kind of thing, like maybe possibilities. The question now, or before that, sorry, is with Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins and his coach, I think his coach, Kevin O'Connell, was shown in a really cool way. I think he is actually a really good coach. I think he's going to be one of the better ones in the NFL for quite some time. Same with the offensive coordinator. I didn't get a chance to grab his name, but he was also really, really good. I actually liked him featured in there a couple of times, and just the way that he spoke to Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins obviously was featured really, really well. Kirk Cousins did a damn good job, in my personal opinion. So a lot of people. Some people said he was a bore. Some people said, yeah, this is what I kind of expected from Kirk Cousins. But honestly, I'm impressed. I was really, really shocked that Kirk Cousins actually showed that much, to be honest with you. Yeah, I see exactly, Scott. Great series. I have more respect for Kirk Cousins than I ever have. I agree. I think a lot of people came out of there with a little bit more respect. A lot of people shunned him out. I've always hated him because the whole, yeah, you like that happened against the Buccaneers. Like, that was a comeback against the Buccaneers. That game was supposed to be the Jameis Winston game that finally got him broken out, and he's the reason we took him first overall. And I'm like, ugh. And of course, yeah, we lost that game. We did that. I was bugged about that for quite a while. So I actually worked with Alex at the time, and I was like, I hate my team. I absolutely hate my team. Really do. He was showing really good. I really the bads. Here's the three bads. I don't like Patrick Mahomes' wife, and that's just a bad. I'm just gonna throw that in there. Whatever. Patrick Mahomes' brother, though, in this show, when he's on the sidelines, and Patrick Mahomes always goes to his wife, which I respect, and I respect that she's always like calm, and she's not always like, ah! And all that shit. Like when he goes over there, like fuck yeah, like props to you. Though his brother, like Patrick always makes a motion to him. And there's sometimes where his brother just doesn't do anything. He just records them and stuff like that. And at that point, I'm just like, get rid of this fucking joke out of your life. Get him away from the fact that he's going to be in pictures for the rest of your life. Like that's that whole surround yourself with people like who are good. You know what I mean? Like good people. And he's just not a good person. He's not a good person. So the other side, the last thing that I did, I not that I didn't like, that I guess didn't show good for, excuse me, was the Atlanta Falcons. Arthur Smith. Arthur Smith doesn't seem like he knows what he's doing fully. I think he knows how to run an offense. I think he's one of those coaches that is really, really good at being an offensive guru. But when given you got to control everything now, not just the offense and stuff like that. You got to control everything. It doesn't work. Taylor Heineke's probably going to come in there and give them a little bit more accessibility to being, decent, and at least have less turnovers, just less crap that you got to worry about with a guy like that. But at the end of the day, Arthur Smith, I think, is just a glorified offensive coordinator. I don't think he's a very good head coach. I really don't. And I think it's going to be shown this year. I really, really do. It was shown in this documentary, though, a lot when asked about the Marcus Mariota situation. I don't even think we saw everything about the whole Marcus Mariota situation in there. I think Netflix did a very good job in making it seem like there was an injury. Oh, I thought it was good for the team. And then they just kind of left it at that. Then all of a sudden he's like, oh, he signed with Philadelphia afterwards. Yay! So what actually happened? What is the issue there? Why did Marcus Mariota go from having good games? It's not, even when he was a Raider, he had good games when Derek Carr went down. So what happened? Why did Marcus Mariota? Why did Marcus Mariota all of a sudden have all this stuff happen to him? There's got to be something else there for the Atlanta Falcons. There's a reason probably why that they shut those cameras off after a while. They're like, you guys can't see all this. Or if you do see all this, there's no way that you can just go put this on your documentary. No fucking way. Arthur Blank, I think that's the owner of the Falcons. There's no fucking way he would sign off on that. Are you kidding me? No. If I was an owner, I wouldn't sign off on that either. I'm like, listen, I just had like the worst Super Bowl of all time that I'm going to be haunted for until my team literally gets better. I need to start making my team better. And to argue, like they have, a lot of like the pieces that they have on their offense are like, holy shit. Like they have a number one running back. They have a number one tight end. They have a number one wide receiver. Next year, if they don't get a quarterback, they can get another number one wide receiver. You imagine if that offense had fucking Marvin Harrison Jr., Drake London, Bijan Robinson, and then all of a sudden, like Kyle Pitts, you keep Cordell Patterson, Tyler Algier. Name me a quarterback that's playing in the league that wouldn't just be like all of a sudden, I would rather be a free agent and have a chance to go to there or trade me to Atlanta. Anybody would want to be a fucking Falcon. I would take pay cuts to go play for the Falcons. I would die. I would still do it. So let me know, though. Who do you think is the three people? Who is the three quarterbacks that you think should be portrayed in it next season? Who do you think? So mine is obviously, the guys in the chat were all like big ball in it. Like Alex, Sid, and Chris were all like, T-Law and Burrow and what was the other big one there? Pickett, obviously, because Sid. Hurts. And I'm like, I don't think that they're going to do three big names just because then it's going to be hard to condense it all into one. I think they're going to try and do like one big name again, like a Josh Allen or a Joe Burrow or something like that. Then they'll go a little bit sub, like say Jared Goff or something like that. And then they're going to go to like Baker, or they're going to go to Stroud, or Bryce Young or someone like that. So that's what I think. I don't think that they're going to do like Trevor Lawrence, Joe Burrow, and Lamar Jackson all in one season. I just think that's too much. 2-0 Hurts and Burrow. I just think that's too much. It's too much. I'd rather see like I want to see Burrows now. I can wait on her. Yeah, actually, you know what? Now I'm thinking about this. That's not bad, actually, Scott. That one's not bad. Because Tua is a little like half and half. Might not make it to the playoffs. Might make it. Hurts just went to the Super Bowl, so you can have your possibility of another Super Bowl. And Burrows will probably have a good chance again too. So that's not bad. Okay, I just hated it, but you know what? It's getting started. Marcus went crazy when he was replaced. And yes, he did. But the thing is he knew better. He knew his opportunity there, but like when you get Desmond Ridder and you got to go for it, you got to go for it. When you have an opportunity to get that high of a pick again, too, if you're not winning games in the draft that they just had, you do it. So that's what I think. I go, again, I'm going to go with my 3 that I want, my personal 3 that I want. Give me, because now that I think about it, I want Herbert. I would like, because I like Geno Smith. I want to see kind of behind the scenes there in Seattle. And give me Hurts. I kind of like the whole Hurts thing there. So that's actually, that'll probably be my 3. Let me know who you think would be your 3 that you want to see for next year's quarterback documentary made by Peyton Manning. Drop it in the comment section. Let us know. Your comment can be featured, obviously, and just like that. That's how Scott Taylor got it here in the first place. That's how he's got his own show on a network now, too. Go figure. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of the show. I did it all by myself. It's just like the good old days. Except I could only do it by myself for so long. That's why I brought Alex around. And I bought others. And they're supposed to be here. But they're never here. They're never here. No, I'm just kidding. They're busy. I'm not going to ask them to change their lives. I don't pay them that much. So, ladies and gentlemen, let us know what you think about the Colin Cowherd moment that we had today. Let us know what you think about In Mid Out. And let us know what you thought about the Netflix documentary Quarterbacks. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for me. It is way too hot. I am literally going to go find some form of cold around here in Canada, which it doesn't exist anymore. Thank you to the Americans and the Chinese for putting all that pollution into the air and causing global warming. All shout outs to the people in the comment section tonight. Christopher Cole, Jesse, Scott, Sean, Jared, Johnny, all of you guys, much appreciation for being here tonight. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, our sponsor still and always will be ZAGNIF Apparel. Use 15% or use FOOBS15 to get 15% off your purchase at ZAGNIF Apparel. And of course, let them know that I sent you there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna get the hell out of here. Much love here at North Sports Dynasty. Shout out to everybody again. And we're getting close to football season. And that's when all the fun begins. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll talk to you later. Goodbye.